How to build wealth. Okay guys, I want to talk to you about a very common concept that gets thrown around that I don't think people have the right meaning around, which is wealth. Okay, what is wealth? Wealth, by definition, is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Now, when you put it like that, does that sound like something that can happen overnight? No, it's something that has to be built upon and sustainable. And true wealth happens with core concepts, key principles, and most importantly, the values you live your life by. So what I want to go over today is that wealth takes time to build. And people are trying to get wealthy overnight, because to truly build wealth, you have to build a plan first. You have to attain that wealth somehow. Ever since I was a kid, I was doing some form of sales. I had a lawn mowing business and did door-to-door sales in Cub Scouts, selling popcorn to either generate income or learning the skills to generate income later on in life. I would literally go out on the weekends. My parents would drive me around the block. They would drop me off, and then I would go up to these doors by myself, have an order for them. We'd have to get a check from the person there, and I'd also have to have them willing to actually wait for their product. Our popcorn comes on a shipment, so they're basically pre-paying for this popcorn. It took a lot of guts. I didn't want to do it. I was like shouldered down, like weighed down all of my shoulders with just like this negative self-talk and worry and doubt. Like, what if as I'm walking up to the door, they hear me walking up, the dog barks and the dad gets hella pissed and wants to come yell at me or something like that. Like, I'm thinking all these negative things. And then I get to the door, they open it, they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? And it's very complete opposite of what I'm thinking. Once I got through some of the tough times, I realized it wasn't as bad as I thought. So these are skills that I learned through, like I said, since I was in elementary school selling popcorn door to door, to when I was selling cable door to door and having to have the customers give their social security number on the phone to a call center that AT&T is verifying that they can pass credit check to actually receive the service. And then I would have to make sure that they got that service installed, which that installation date was about 2, 3, 4 weeks later, and make sure that they didn't cancel in the meantime. This job was 100% commission. So if we got paid commission one month, but then later on down the road they didn't get their installation or they canceled, they would pull that commission that we got paid on that account, they would pull it out of our following commission checks for subsequent months. What they would call it is clawbacks. And this could happen months later. So you could just be working, have a solid month, and out of nowhere, you get some clawbacks happening and you have no paycheck. You had to ensure that you did extra sales each week. After I got out of that job, I went into another sales job. I was cold calling businesses across the country to get them to switch their cell phone provider for their business. I had this whole strategy, and I had tracking sheets for all the calls I'd make. I got strategic on getting past the gatekeepers. Everyone's out there trying to get a home run and trying to close a deal that day right there on the phone. Most what we call gatekeepers are the secretaries, the assistants, the people that answer the phones. They're trained to send sales calls to voicemail or to just diffuse it right there and say, hey, we're good, don't call back. You have to be very calculated and careful, because if you go too far, too quick, you're gonna instantly fail. So you have to be very delicate and finesse your way around the situation. I look at it like, hey, if I can't close the deal today, at least give me a piece of info, a little piece of detail that I can put into the CRM manager, and I can come back and revisit this call as a potential lead. I would call with an assuring voice saying, hi, I need to speak with the person handling the cell phone account right now. Then she would say, oh, are you calling about our Verizon account? And I would say, yes, I am. And even though I'm selling Sprint accounts, I'm calling to talk to them about the Verizon account to find out how much are they paying, how many lines do they have, how many minutes do they need, et cetera, et cetera. Then she says, wait, are you our Verizon representative? And I say, no, I'm calling to actually lower your guys' bill. I'm from Sprint, and what we can provide you is sometimes up to 20, 30% savings each month. And if your company has anywhere near the number of cell phones that the companies I usually work with have, in the hundreds of phones and multiple data plans, then you're gonna be saving thousands of dollars a month, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And just keep it as short as possible and quick. If she hung up on me there, at least I know they have a Verizon account. So I would call back, and now I would use that key piece of information. I would say, hi, this is Chris calling on behalf of your Verizon account. Are you the one handling that? And they'd say, no, Jenny is, let me transfer you. So now I got Jenny's name, okay? So even if we get Jenny's voicemail, now I can call back another time and I can say, hi, can you please transfer me to Jenny? And just leave it at that, like she's expecting my call. And then let them ask any further questions. Say, is she expecting your call? Are you calling in regards to something? I'll say, yeah, I'm calling in regards to the Verizon account for your company. And so she thinks automatically like, oh, well, we have Verizon on our phone, so let me transfer him. So you see how 3 calls potentially led to me getting past the gatekeeper. But each call, I used it instead of a defeat, I used it as a key piece of information to arm myself for the next time. That was just up my life until before I was 30. These were little things that I figured out over time, and these are all lessons and part of your journey. And so this is stuff that I learned over time that really has key pieces of lineage in my entrepreneurial career, and these sales skills were integral to that. And so today I'm not doing sales in that nature, such as door-to-door cold calling sales, but I do sales on such a different level in so many different aspects of my life, my business, and even outside of business. So true wealth happens over decades, not days. Understand that, embrace that, get okay with that. Understand that for me, for instance, the reason I told you those stories about my childhood is because I've been on this journey my whole life since that time. But my true entrepreneur journey in my adult life started in my mid-20s. And at that point in time, I had to pick myself up time after time after time after time again. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's not easy at all. It's a struggle. And I wake up every day and it's a balance between how many good things are happening and how much progress can I get made and how can I minimize all the negative stuff that happens, because it's always something with any business. You could be in the restaurant industry, you could be in the car dealership industry, you could be anything, and there's going to be a problem that happens at some point. This is a journey. You're going to have to go through trials and tribulations, ups and downs. You cannot always win. So when you understand that and you plan for that, and you can actually plan out over time, plan 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and have different stages and phases of your life in this plan, because the longer you plan out, the wealthier you'll be. If you're only planning for this year and next year, that's your short-sighted goal. That's all you're going to achieve. So you need to extend those goals out, extrapolate them out into short, mid, long-term, 10, 20-year goals. Where are you working towards ultimately? When are you retiring? Where are you going to retire to? Those type questions need to be embraced at a younger age so you can actually plan this map out, work backwards, and actually do what you need to do today to make that happen tomorrow. So that's the extent of the video. I hope it helps the people it needs to help. It'll reach. And other than that, share if you find value in it, leave comments below, and I'll talk to you next time.